Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Joy Grace, and in today's video I have a unique, interesting one. So I have been using Tretinoin for the past 8 months, and along the journey I've taken weekly progress photos, and I want to share those with you so that if you're interested in starting Tretinoin and or you're interested in Apostrophe, this will hopefully help you and in seeing my journey and progress. So I started out with really bad acne, and 8 months later my skin is pretty much cleared up. So let's go ahead and get started. So before we get into the progress photos, I want to give you an idea of where we started and what my journey with cystic acne has been. I feel like if you're here and you're watching this video, you have struggled or are struggling currently with cystic acne, and you know it's extremely it's unsightly. You know, nobody enjoys having it, but more than anything it's really painful, and for that reason alone you want to get rid of it, because it's these large bumps on your face and they hurt. So I never really struggled with acne throughout my teen years and throughout high school. I was one of the lucky ones there, but as soon as I turned 21, it's like made up for lost time, and I started really struggling with cystic acne. And so around then is when I started hormonal birth control, and it helped the acne somewhat, but I always still had anywhere from 1 to 4 active cysts on my face at any given time. So it helped, but it wasn't a cure-all. And about maybe 3 years, around 24, 25, I believe, is when I sought the help of a local dermatologist, and I found one and went to her. And unfortunately I didn't have the best experience with her. I felt really rushed throughout the appointment, and I didn't feel valued as a patient, and she didn't take her time in explaining things, actually helping solve the problem. It was more pushing product, I felt. So she had prescribed Tretinoin and spironolactone in pill form, so to take those orally. And I distinctly remember going to pick up the prescription and the pharmacist stating that the dermatologist had wrote the Tretinoin up as a cosmetic. And I later found out in researching that drug that it is one of the side effects is it does prevent wrinkles, and so some people take it for the anti-aging aspect alone. However, that's clearly not why I went to the dermatologist. I had active painful bumps, and that was, that's not a cosmetic reason. Acne is a disease, and it's very painful. So because it was prescribed as a cosmetic meant that insurance wasn't going to cover it or cover as much. And I don't remember the dollar amount that it would have been, but it was outside of my budget at that point. It was not sustainable to actually use that product, and for that reason, unfortunately, I had to make the decision to not take Tretinoin. I did end up getting the spironolactone. It was a 50 milligram. The dose that she had prescribed was 50 milligram pills to be taken twice a day, so once in the morning, once in the evening, and so a total of 100 milligrams per day. And spironolactone is a diuretic, and basically it makes you pee a lot, and I hate that feeling. I definitely saw that as a side effect. No matter, even if I had just used the bathroom, my bladder still felt very full, and I just hated that feeling. So after a month, I stopped taking the spironolactone pill as well, and at that point just decided to continue trying other alternatives at Ulta and Sephora. Like we normally do, we try to seek any over-the-counter remedy that we can, something that doesn't require prescription and ongoing doctor visits. So I just dealt with it for many years, and fast forward to this past April, almost 30. I almost turned 30. I turned 30 in May, but I decided to stop taking hormonal birth control because I was seeing some other negative side effects and thought it might be the culprit, which it was. And a month later in May, I was feeling so much better physically, emotionally, and mentally The only negative aspect was that my acne had flared up like no other, as bad as it has ever been. And so you'll see my initial photos where I started out, and I have numerous, like my cheeks are filled with red, inflamed, huge cysts that were extremely painful. So I dealt with that throughout May, and then come June, I decided I had to do something. I knew I wasn't going to go back to the dermatologist that I had been to before. And unfortunately, here in the States, healthcare is really hard to get, especially if you're a new patient. A lot of times you require a referral to begin with. And even if you have a referral and you're a new patient with someone, it can take months to get an appointment. Like I just had to get a new primary care physician because mine left and moved out of state, and it took 3 months to get in with somebody. So I was not going to deal with huge, my cheeks being inflamed for 3 months. And so I decided to seek online dermatologists. So I started doing some research. There's several companies that exist out there. Some of them are geared more towards that anti-aging aspect. So if you don't struggle with acne and you're just looking for the anti-aging benefit, there's some that are geared towards that. There are others that are geared towards the acne aspect. The one that I settled on was named Apostrophe, and they did seem to be geared more towards the acne. And the thing that I liked about them was that, number one, they are geared towards facial and body acne. Even though I haven't seen them for body acne, I liked that just in case, if I ever develop that in the future, they could offer it. And then they also offered spironolactone in topical form. So since relatively recently, in the past couple years, I believe, spironolactone has developed in topical form, not just oral. And so I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe that topically you don't have those diuretic effects. And so I thought that might be good. And I just liked that an online dermatologist was as legit as a regular, local in-person dermatologist. They're all board certified, but I liked the quick nature of it, that there was a quick turnaround time and I could get a product in my hands to start using immediately without having to wait for an appointment and then go pick up a prescription. And the other thing too that I really liked about Apostrophe, and I believe maybe the others do it as well, but they offer custom compounds. So after your dermatologist reviews your photos, they'll prescribe a custom compound so they can couple tretinoin with other prescribed ingredients and it customized to what you need. So like I mentioned, I knew I wanted to take tretinoin and I wanted to try spironolactone topically. And besides that, I was going to leave it up to my dermatologist. Those are the two main ingredients I was concerned with, was just getting the acne under control. And then they offer like azelaic acid, for instance, as another active ingredient. But I knew that I could tackle the discoloration later if I wanted to. And then also let me mention too, while we're on the topic of spironolactone, they offered it topically and they also offer it in pill form if you want to take that. So I decided, yes, I'm going to do this Apostrophe. It was really simple, really easy. I am not affiliated. I should have started this video like that. I'm not affiliated. I'm not sponsored. This is just an average consumer's view of the product and the company and my experience with it. I've paid for all of this myself out of pocket. That being said, if you're gonna subscribe to Apostrophe or, do the consultation, definitely look out there. I looked at a lot of videos and, they work with influencers. There are influencers that have codes. And so I highly recommend, obviously save money and use one of their codes. I think it's maybe like $15 off the initial consultation. And so I knew that. And so I did the consultation, sped through payment. I was kind of rushing through and excited to, get the product and submit the photos so the dermatologist could look at it, that I completely missed where you were supposed to enter the coupon code. Luckily, they have really great customer service. I messaged them after I had already checked out and told them that I had forgotten to apply the coupon code. And they said it was no issue. They were able to apply that coupon code to my account so that I could get a credit off a second subscription order. So like a second refill of the prescription. So that was really nice. I was glad that they did that, because after, looking at so many videos and knowing I wanted to buy it, I completely got excited and missed that. But it all worked out. So the initial setup part of it is really easy. They ask you a few questions, get your current medications, and there's a box in there where you can specify if there's certain ingredients that you want the dermatologist to prescribe you. They have that in there, and you can input that, and they'll take that into consideration when they give you their final prescription. And other than that, the main thing that you have to submit are 3 photos, makeup free, clean, bare skin, in good light, no filters, and so they ask for the front of your face and then 1 of each side of your face. And from there, you submit it, and then the dermatologist reviews it. So I did mine around like 6, 7 o'clock at night, and by midnight, the dermatologist had reviewed my account and written up the prescription and sent it into the pharmacy. So it was really quick turnaround time. And I was curious to know about that dermatologist aspect. So they do give you the name of your dermatologist, and I did a Google search of mine, and he actually has his own practice. So I guess he has a live in person, sees patients in person during the day. And then kind of sounds like maybe he does this as a side gig, the online dermatologist thing. So it kind of works out for both the patient and the dermatologist if they're smart enough to get partnered up with these online places. So other than that, he looked at my photos and wrote up basically a short thing telling me how to use each of the products. And also, mainly, he only prescribed the Tretinoin compound formula, but he, let me just talk about the compound that he prescribed. So I got Tretinoin at 0.025%, that's the lowest you can get, and then also spironolactone 5%, and then clindamycin 1%. So all of those 3 ingredients are compounded into one cream here. It comes delivered in a pump, and it is fulfilled by the Apostrophe Pharmacy based in Gilbert, Arizona. So if you're on the East Coast, it will take like a week to get delivered. So keep that in mind when you're ordering. But it comes in this pump, and yeah, let me make sure the weight of it. Where is the weight? Because that would be important. 21 grams is what it is. So I'm not sure what that equates to ounce-wise. It's kind of what I'm familiar with, but 21 grams. I will say they start the auto refills at 3-month mark, and so it'll auto charge your credit card and ship you a thing every 3 months, but you can change that frequency. And I did find, started out using this every night because I didn't see any bad results in terms of peeling and the purge. We'll get to that in a little bit. So I've used this nightly since I've gotten it, and I'm only on my 2nd tube now, 8 months in. So it lasts over 4 months. 1 bottle lasts over 4 months for me, which is really good. So aside from that, the dermatologist had told me how to use this to start out, and then what, you're supposed to ramp up. And then because it has clindamycin in it, which is a topical antibiotic, you can become resistant to antibiotics. And so he had recommended that I needed to take or use a benzoyl peroxide face wash in the mornings. So use this at night. Couple that with a benzoyl peroxide wash in the morning, which is going to kill that antibiotic so that your skin doesn't become resistant to clindamycin over time. So, all of that said, I really had to simplify my skincare routine. So, obviously, was using sunscreen, continuing to use sunscreen every day. And then, in terms of what I used or how I used the tretinoin, so I would at night after taking off all my makeup, I would sometimes use a serum that I had, like just a hydrating serum. And then over top of that, I changed all my moisturizers to be completely basic. So mainly just, your bare bones glycerin based, sometimes with hyaluronic acid moisturizers. The two that I've found that I really like are Neutrogena Hydro Boost Water Gel. I believe they literally just reformulated this, but I really like this because it's a gel texture, it's lightweight, and it's, like it says, it's a hydro boost. And then the other one is this La Roche-Posay moisturizer here, and this is the Double Repair Face Moisturizer. And I found that both work really well. The moisturizer I was using before had a retinol in it, and because of that, you don't want to mix tretinoin with retinol because they're basically the same ingredient and you're asking for extreme irritation. So I had to stop that. But yeah, I've been using this for 8 months and my skin has changed dramatically. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the progress photos. Okay, so starting out, this is the first initial consultation that I had with Apostrophe, and these are actually downloaded from the Apostrophe site that I submitted. So these were the actual 3 photos that I submitted to the dermatologist. As you can see, for the initial consultation, you just submit 3 photos, a head-on shot, and then 1 photo each of each side of your face. And as you can see, for whatever reason, my left side of my face had no active breakouts, but you can see the hyperpigmentation from previous cystic acne spots that I had. And then my right side was actually the most inflamed. So you can see this is as horrible as my cystic acne ever got, which is pretty bad for me personally. This, as you can see, it's very red, inflamed, very just angry, and these large cysts were very painful. So this is baseline of what we started out with, and again, my first visit was on June 1st. Now, it took about a week for even though the dermatologist approved the prescription, it took about a week for that prescription to get fulfilled and shipped to me. And at that point, I decided that I wanted to take progress pictures. And so, starting on June 14th, which was 1 week post starting this tretinoin custom compound prescription, is when I started taking progress photos. So all of these photos were taken in my closet, which has no natural light. There's no windows in here. So each of the progress photos that you're going to see are exact same lighting conditions and all taken at night right after I've done my skincare routine or right before. So no coverage product on my face. So you can get a true, accurate representation of what my skin looks like at each week. So 1 week, as you can see, this custom compound worked amazing. It basically calmed down all of the active acne spots that I had on my right side, as you can see. And I feel like that clindamycin, which was the antibiotic, really worked to almost immediately tamp that acne down and calm it down. So starting at week 2, June 22nd, I started to get more active cystic spots on both sides of my face. Again, not as bad as the initial consultation baseline photos, but still some pretty red and inflamed spots. So I skipped a few weeks here, so we're jumping ahead to 5 weeks post tretinoin, and as you can see, more of the same, a few new spots and dealing with hyperpigmentation from the previous. And you can see they're really only centered around my cheeks and my jaw. I never really had cystic acne on my forehead. Here is where I don't know if you would consider this the purge. This is 6 weeks post starting the routine, and so we're 2 months in. Again, I don't feel like this could be considered a purge, but I don't feel like it was any worse than where I started out from. So to me, you know, it was just part of the process. It didn't deter me, this mini purge, if you will. All right, so 7 weeks. We're at the end of July here. So I had gotten a little tube of 0.05% tretinoin, just straight tretinoin, and I had decided to start incorporating that, because you want to ease your way up as you increase the percentages. And so I had decided to use the Apostrophe custom compound every night, except for one night I would switch it out with a 0.05% to get my skin used to it. And here's what we're looking like. 8 weeks, I had continued doing the 0.05%, still more of the same, but as you can see, I'm dealing with, as you notice, the spots are getting less cystic in nature. They're kind of like more medium spots, but I do still have a lot of hyperpigmentation. So it looks to me like these are kind of in the healing stage. 9 weeks, this is what we look like. 10 weeks, we're at August 17th. I'm still using the 0.05% once a week, and yeah, still have some issues around my jaw area. 11 weeks, skin is looking clear, but do still have some hyperpigmentation. 12 weeks, skin is starting to really look clear. I do have one active spot on my left side, as you can see. And then I feel like from here on out, September is where I started to really notice a change for the positive, where I wasn't suffering from multiple cysts at one time. So this is 14 weeks. We're at September 12th, and I'm still using the 0.05% once a week. "15 weeks, as you can see here, like total dramatic change here. So this is the end of September. 16 weeks, September 28th. So I got some new spots around my mouth and chin. But as you can see, the discoloration in my cheeks is starting to lighten. 17 weeks, October 5th, beginning of October. I feel like I'm getting a little bit more of a glow, like my skin is looking more radiant, and overall I'm not suffering from those deep, painful cystic acne spots. 20 weeks, I decided to stop using the 0.05% tretinoin because I was seeing some redness, and so I just switched back, going to the Apostrophe routine of the 0.025% tretinoin coupled with the spironolactone and clindamycin. 21 weeks post tretinoin, November 2nd, and my skin is looking great for me. 23 weeks, we're at November 16th, and hyperpigmentation is continuing to improve. 24 weeks, we're at the end of November, and still no new cystic acne. 25 weeks, also end of November, and here we have. So basically at this point is when I started, if I would break out, I would normally just get one cystic spot a month around my period, and it was the thing I noticed that was different about it was that it would heal way faster than any cystic acne that I had prior to starting tretinoin. So even though you might still break out, the healing process happens so much faster. So it makes it bearable in that regard. 26 weeks, beginning of December, and you can see I've got a pretty large spot here. This was probably around my period. 27 weeks, December 14th. So 1 week later, you can see the cystic acne spot is gone. I do still have a lingering spot for discoloration, but the tretinoin is definitely helping to heal it. All right, then I skipped a few weeks, and on Christmas break, I didn't take any pictures, but I was still continuing to use the apostrophe each night. And so this is the 30-week check-in on January 6th. And I've got one little spot. Prior to this, though, this December 14th, I distinctly remember this month. I did not have any active breakouts from December 7th to January 6th. So I went an entire month without any new breakouts other than this one that popped up like the day before I took these progress photos, which was miraculous. But look how clear my, my left side of my cheek is. I mean, it's a night and day difference between where I started and where we are now. All right, and then 32 weeks post-tretinoin. So this is tonight. I just took these pictures, and here's what I look like today. So as you can see, 8 months on tretinoin has really changed the game for me. It's really improved my skin. I'm going to continue taking this custom formula. I'm only on, even though it's 8 months in, and they do the prescriptions where you can alter the frequency that you're getting the formula, but the default is every 3 months. I don't go through an entire jar of it in 3 months. It actually takes me longer than that. It takes longer than you think. I thought I was almost through with the first one, and I didn't want to run out because I knew it takes about a week to receive a shipment. So I had went ahead and ordered the second one probably 4 months in, and I still had probably a month left to go on that first bottle. So I'm only on my second bottle 8 months in, and I've still got a lot left of my second bottle. So even though you're using it every night, I'm using, kind of a large pea size amount, enough to cover my forehead, cheeks, and chin. And I don't run through it at a bottle every 3 months. So to me, the cost is worth it. It's about $75 a bottle, I think. And, say you get 4 months out of it, that's less than $20 a month. So it's worth it in my opinion. All right, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. I'll probably do another update video on this at the 1 year mark, so in June. And then, if I continue to see dramatic improvements in terms of the anti-aging aspect, I'll continue to make updates. So if you're interested in this type of content, or just like hearing about makeup and skincare, please consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.